We are going to continue on with today's media availability with Alex Bowman, driver of the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. If you have a question for Alex, please raise your hand. We will get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Randy, and then we'll go to Nate.
Oh, you're not going to take Chris Rice's question? I think you should.
He's just turning left.
I really feel like you should take his question.
I want to know how many Subway sandwiches he ate on his first trip to Daytona.
Ooh.
Oh, Blimpie sandwiches, I think.
No, it's because I nicknamed you Blimpy on the way down there. Too many. We ate a lot. We ate our way to Daytona in 2013.
Hey, Alex, this is Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. The obvious question, I mean, you're on that spot. How do you deal with the pressure? How do you prepare for this race, maybe more than any other normal race during the year? Driving different, planning different? And what do you draw from your good race in the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can't approach it any differently than we have every week leading up to this. I feel like when you try to step your game up or change what you're doing, you end up making mistakes and not executing well. So we're kind of business as usual. Obviously, our mile-and-a-half program is our strongest program. We were really strong here in the spring. I feel like we've only gotten stronger since then. So we have a great race car here, and we just have to go execute. Obviously, it's not an optimal point situation, but all we can do is all we can do, and we're pretty much in a must-win situation. And you know, that's tough, but if we don't make it, the sun's still going to come up on Monday, and you know, if we have a good day and still don't make it, we're a Talladega away from making it. That's just part of the sport.
Go next to Nate, then to Steve, and then the gentleman there in the back.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Alex, you finished second to Brad here in May. How many times have you rerun those last 20 laps? And if you did it again, would you win 10 times out of 10 if you were able to have it again?
Yeah, I mean, definitely thought about it a lot. Really, I mean, until we won Chicago, probably thought about it a lot more than I have thought about it since then. But you know, that was a tough situation. Obviously, he was on newer tires than us, and I really tried to, you're running wide open at that point, so tried to just take the shortest distance, and ended up getting in a bad aero situation behind a lap car and getting tight and having to lift, and probably should have just moved up the racetrack and been okay with running up there, and then just controlling the air on the bottom if I had to, if he got there. But that was going to be a tough race to win regardless, just part of it. I think long runs we were great, and maybe that's what we'll see on Sunday.
Go next to Steven.
Steve Conley, PRN. Alex, kind of following up on Nate's question, after that race, you were really at ease during the post-race of that, realizing you gave that race away. The following days, did the frustration build, realizing how close you were?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely frustrated, but at the same time, at that point in the year, we had 0 top 10s 3 weeks before that, and we went out and finished second three weeks in a row. So obviously there were a lot of positives going on. You know, I feel like we had really started to turn our program around, and it's definitely shown since then. But it was definitely frustrating not to get that win.
Go back to the corner there, and we'll come up to Tyler.
Sterling Siemens with KCOU. You won your first career cup race over the summer back at Chicago. Obviously, Chicago is a track that's very similar to Kansas. And also in the last round of the playoffs, you were in kind of you were in a situation where you and your team had to perform, and you came through with the second place finish on the Roval. You find yourself in the same situation here where a great finish is crucial at Kansas. How confident are you in your team that the momentum that you had with the second place back here in the spring can carry over into this race this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had to pick a track for us to go run well at, and it wasn't Chicago, it would probably be here. I feel like we're really confident coming in here, but at the same time, it's just tough. We're in a bigger hole than we were in going into the Roval by quite a bit. We're there against really, like, last year's champion is the next guy in front of us. it's just tough. You know, it's going to be tough, and to make it without a win would take a lot to happen, I feel like. So we're just focused on going out and hopefully getting a win.
Alex, you mentioned earlier how well you raced here back in the spring. You won in Chicago. Are you seeing your mile-and-a-half program as the strength of your abilities and your team right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we've been the strongest throughout the year. You know, the first couple of races we weren't that great, but really when we got here and then went to Charlotte, we've been strong at a lot of the mile-and-a-halves. So that's definitely our strengths right now. You know, next week's probably our weakness with the short tracks. So we definitely are at a time where we need to go capitalize on that.
Alexa Henry and Motor Racing Network, you just said that next week the short tracks you don't feel as strong at. What do you feel like you need to improve on going to Martinsville, which always seems to be a little bit more aggressive in the fall?
Yeah, you know, obviously, I feel like if we knew exactly what area to improve on our short track cars, we would have been much better at Richmond a couple weeks ago. But we just have some work to do on our short track cars. We've been pretty poor all year as a company, not just our team, and definitely have work to do. So we went to Richmond trying to get a car that turned the center all night, and it was probably the best turning car there, but had zero forward drive and just kind of jumped the fence and didn't have a very good balance. So just having the overall balance in the car and having kind of the best compromise between turn and drive at a place like Richmond or Martinsville is really important.
Come down front here, then go to the postman.
Trev Mater, NASCAR College Media. Last time at Kansas, it was a night race, a little cool. Sunday, it's going to be a day race and maybe a little bit warmer than it was last time. Does that at all change the way you guys set things up for Sunday, or are they pretty similar?
Yeah, I think it probably fits us a little bit better than the night race did. I feel like the night race, you know, we were really strong on long runs. We were okay on short runs, but once handling came into play and the tires started to wear out a little more was really when we seemed to shine. So I think handling will probably come into play a little bit more on Sunday, and hopefully that's a big benefit to us.
Steve Post, Motor Racing Network. Alex, you shared a lot about getting over Kansas the last time. Last week, Talladega. How was this week getting past Talladega, knowing that's such a different type of racing and whatever happened down there, but how was this week like able to put that away and move on?
Yeah, I mean, the sun still came up on Monday. Pretty much everything that could have gone bad for us went bad for us. You know, that guy in the back of the room decided to go and win, make my life really tough. So, you know, we obviously had a better shot at it before that happened, but congrats to them. And, you know, we just we executed well the first stage and just made a mistake there. You know, sometimes that block works, other times that block doesn't work, and that was one of the times it didn't work. So just really stayed focused on this weekend, and you can't really dwell on that stuff, especially super speedway racing. It kind of just is what it is.
Any additional questions for Alex? Well, Alex, good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Thanks.